5 years. Said in another way, 75 seasons. Winters, springs, autumns, and summers. It's kind of a comforting thought, having all these seasons to share and spend with others. However, the time we have is not for granted. In the end, it's not the years in your life that count, it's life in your years. This is a quote from Abraham Lincoln. I want you to imagine this. Picture a typical day in your life. You're wrapped up in the usual, nothing seems out of the ordinary. Until you find yourself facing an emergency surgery that came out of nowhere. I know if someone had told me to imagine this a year ago, I could have. But it would have never crossed my mind that I would be the one in that situation. Unfortunately, on February, I was. This experience made me rethink my whole approach to life. It made me question what really matters and how often we take our time for granted. I want to share with you what I learned in the hope that it might inspire you to reflect on your actions and your priorities. It was another weekend. I woke up, I had breakfast, I went out with my family. I've always lived a life that was called normal. I never thought that the next day, which was a Sunday, was going to be a lot different and not for any good reason. A big stomachache hit me suddenly. Crying and in pain, my mom took me to the hospital that day. It was like 10 degrees, so it was freezing. It was a Sunday, it was 3 o'clock, there were no doctors, but it was a chaos. But we arrived in the emergency room, and we were just waiting, hoping that a doctor would come, give me a prescription, and that we would be back home in about 1 or 2 hours maximum. But everything turned out the opposite. I had a few ultrasounds made, and we found out that I had not one, but 2 cysts. They are at a normal growth of fluid, and that creates a sac. They're not usually dangerous because they disappear by themselves without the need of any treatment. But in my case, that didn't happen. And because of their size, their location, and the fact that they were 2, they had to be immediately removed. I couldn't even process what was going on when I was already being taken out of the surgery. And that's when the surgery fulfilled. My 2 weeks of going to school became 2 weeks of laying in bed, and my afternoons of doing exercise almost every day of the week became 2 months of not being able to do any exercise or sport in any kind. So as you can imagine, I had a lot of free time. And that's when I started thinking, and I realized that before the surgery, I found myself a lot in comparing myself to others. Something that's usual between people our age, but that shouldn't be. Chasing things that didn't really bring me joy, measuring my success against other success. But after this, I started focusing on what truly made me happy. A few weeks after the surgery, I went to an appointment with the doctor just to make sure that everything was good. I realized then how unlucky and lucky I had been. Really unlucky because the doctor told me that what happened to me was extremely rare, and it should have never happened because of my age. I was 14. Because of my health, I used to do exercise almost every day of the week. It doesn't really have a good explanation. But really lucky too, because if my situation would have been different, if I had held on between one more day, maybe it would have been much harder to handle. The liquid I have could have gone all over this area of my stomach. It would have been a chaos, and of course with much higher risk. This only showed me how it could have happened to anyone, and how no one has anything for sure. What do I want you to do with this? I want you to realize that you have the opportunity of being grateful every day. It's your choice if you take it or not. You can start by little steps, 3 at a time. Maybe start right now thinking about one thing, one small thing. It doesn't have to be anything enormous. That makes your day a little bit better. And imagine a life where you're more connected with yourself and with those around you. A life where the only one that you're competing with is yourself. This new life isn't about achieving perfection or having everything figured out. It's actually about living with intention and making choices that truly resonate with who you are. It's about moving beyond 75 years to a life where every day is valued. So, as I live here today, I encourage you to reflect on how you're living your own seasons. Are you truly embracing them? Vivian Green once said, Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. Life is about learning to dance in the rain. Don't wait for an emergency like mine to realize the power you have in your hands. Make the most of it. Live fully, love deeply, and cherish each